All right, and welcome back to The Lead Word. This is your host, Trey Daubert, along with me, as always, Chad Bauman. Today, Tuesday, January 5th, 2021. Still kind of weird to say that. Chad, how are you?
I can't complain, man. Well, I can complain. There's a lot I can complain about, but it is what it is.
Well, we might as well get that out of the way. So, for this show, we're going to be talking about the upcoming playoff games for the Wildcard weekend. But first, Chad wrote a little bit of an article, and when Chad writes an article, it means he's really heated about something. Something really grinded his gear. So I'm not even going to say anything else. Floor is yours, Chad.
I mean, I'll just say what I said in the article. Giants fans, Giants players. Well, not all Giants players. There's actually some of them are being kind of cool about it. Joe Judge, for sure, are fucking pussies. Oh, boo-hoo. We didn't make the playoffs because the Eagles tanked. You want to make the playoffs, win more than 6 fucking games. Then you'll make the playoffs. You didn't get screwed here. You didn't deserve to be in the playoffs. Arizona got screwed. They had a winning-ish record. They were winning adjacent. Miami got screwed. They were 10-5. I'm sure there's some other teams who had better records than 6-10, or even Washington at 7-9 that could have made the playoffs but didn't. Your beef isn't with the Eagles. It's with the NFL rules for the way their playoff schedule is structured.
Can I make a counter?
The only reason why you're mad about tanking is because you had to fucking watch it. If that game was played at 1:00, nobody gives a shit.
Can I make a counter about Joe Judge?
I don't know what your counter is, but yeah, he's still a pussy.
Here's what I'm thinking. I'm not sure he's smart enough to think this, but it kind of goes back to, for the people who witnessed it, I kind of got Alex a little bit riled up. It was a 3D chess move. Just what if Joe Judge is thinking to himself, this is my opportunity to set a culture here with the Giants, to let our players know that no matter what the circumstances, we're always going to try to win football games. That no matter what, we want our guys ready to go, in line, building a culture, dialed in, doesn't matter. Because deep down inside, I don't think he really cares. Maybe I'm giving him too much credit. But if it were me, I personally would say, I don't care what the Eagles did. But what I would tell the media would be something different. What I would tell the media is, we'll never tank. It doesn't matter what our guys are doing. We want our guys playing hard. We want our guys dialed in. I'm trying to build a culture here. I'm trying to build winners. So what I would say to the media might be different than what I actually believe.
No. Still a total pussy move. You don't call a fucking press conference to talk about another man's house.
Listen, I just wanted to counter.
I'm just saying, Ron Rivera, the guy who actually fucking benefited from the tanking, and by the way, I don't think it's tanking. I don't think Doug Peterson is smart enough.
I want to get into that.
Doug Peterson's not fucking smart enough to tank. Ron Rivera basically came out and said, yeah, well, you didn't have a problem with the Steelers resting there, guys. So why is it different for the Eagles? Because to be honest with you, Jalen Hurts shouldn't have been in that game in the first place. I don't care what anybody says. Carson Wentz wants a trade. Carson Wentz doesn't want to trade. The Eagles don't want Carson Wentz to be there, and that's fucking clear by the way they used him this year. They don't fucking like the guy. I don't know what they're doing, because the shit they're doing doesn't make sense. You pay the guy $100 million because he's your future. Okay, cool. Use him like he's your future. When you get into the games, you don't do what the guy does good. You don't call plays for him. But then you bench the guy, and you finally start calling plays that would have worked with Carson Wentz because it's the shit that he does good. Doug Peterson, this is the same fucking guy whose genius idea was to go for 2 when there was no possible way to win a game against Seattle. This is a guy who all he had to do was kick a field goal to tie the game against Seattle, but decided to go for it on 4th down. And it wasn't like a 4th and 1 either. It was like a 4th and 5. Doug has no fucking clue what he's doing.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to talk about the idea that the Eagles were tanking because it's the most maybe irrational opinion.
They just suck. He told us before the game, we're going to put Nate Sudfeld in eventually.
Yeah.
He was always planning to play Sudfeld.
But I think the craziest part of it is people are not mad that Carson Wentz was a healthy scratch in a game that Nate Sudfeld played. But people are mad that a guy who has no chance to be a franchise quarterback, who was 7 of 20 while down, were they down 3 or down 6 when he got benched?
They were down 3.
Either way, you're trailing, and I can make a very good argument that Jalen Hurts' best asset is his ability to run. That in the fourth quarter, we need the better pure thrower, and that's Nate Sudfeld. I don't care what anybody says.
No, I wouldn't say that.
I don't know if that. I don't. You're telling me
that's giving Nate Sudfeld a lot of credit.
Hold on. You're telling me you're 100% convinced that Nate Sudfeld is a worse thrower, pure thrower of the football than Jalen Hurts?
I think that's giving Nate Sudfeld a lot of credit. I would put Carson Wentz without pads in the game before I put Nate Sudfeld if I was trying to win.
But hold on. This idea that Jalen Hurts is your future, that Jalen Hurts is this pure rocket solid quarterback that he can sling. He was going to throw 3 touchdowns in that fourth quarter and Philadelphia was going to come back is insane.
I will say this. I think he's the better option than Nate Sudfeld. At least he can run the ball.
Hold on.
Thing is, and here's something though too that you have to look at. If you think like there's people that are honestly saying that Hurts played well.
No.
On Sunday. There are literally people, and it's on Twitter that are saying that. My thing is if you think that Jalen Hurts played well in that game,
that's insane.
If you think Jalen Hurts played well in that game, you think that Carson Wentz played well against Seattle this year. Because if you look at their stat lines, minus the rushing totals, they're basically the same. They both had 1 pick, both threw for 2 touchdowns, and then Carson Wentz had 250 yards.
Hurts didn't throw for any touchdowns.
He had the 2 rushing touchdowns is what I meant. So both had 2 touchdowns, both had a pick, and then both were less than 50% completions. So if you
Hurts wasn't even close. He was 7 of 20.
I'm just saying, if you think Hurts played well against Washington, you think Carson played well against Seattle.
Can we just acknowledge that Jalen Hurts has no shot to ever carry a team to where they need to be as a franchise quarterback? Like, I don't understand how the media has propped them up into it. They made it seem like Aaron Rodgers got benched or something. Like, this is blown crazy.
He should have never been in the game. I don't care. For all intents and purposes, at this point, your starting quarterback next year is Jalen Hurts. Why are you playing?
It shouldn't be, but I know that it will be.
I'm not saying it should or shouldn't.
I know what you're saying.
I'm just saying, I'm laying out the facts right now. Your starting quarterback next year, whether you like it or not, is Jalen Hurts, which is something the fucking Eagles did to themselves. But that's an entirely different conversation. Your starting quarterback is Jalen Hurts. Why are you playing him in week 17 in a game that means absolutely fucking nothing to you?
I don't have any problem with them evaluating Sudfeld.
To be 100% honest, it's even worse if you win the game. So putting your starting quarterback in at that point is actually worse than not playing it or than actually playing him. It doesn't make sense.
I don't have any problem with them playing Sudfeld. In fact, I think they should have played him more.
That's what I'm saying.
Find out what you have.
Sudfeld should have been your starter the entire game.
And Fulgham. And all those other young guys.
This would have been my plan going into the fucking game. Wentz inactive because you don't want to get him hurt and then tank his trade value, what little fucking trade value he has. Like, I mean, at least now you could probably trade him for like a pack of beef jerky. If he gets hurt, you're like getting a toothpick. I don't fucking know. So you deactivate Wentz, which they did. And I'm going to talk about that too in just a second because there's something that we have to address. Deactivate Wentz for the game. Deactivate Hurts for the game. Sudfeld is your starter. And then if he gets hurt, you throw fucking Greg Ward in there. That would have been my plan.
I don't hate it.
The fact that Jalen Hurts even suited up is a fucking travesty. It just proves to you, Doug Peterson, Howie Roseman, they have no clue what they're fucking doing. And Jeffrey fucking Lurie must not fucking like Eagles fans because he brought him back next year.
Can we address that?
Oh, let's address that.
Can we address
I don't know if you listened at all to Howie Roseman
maybe
and Doug
10 minutes
Peterson's
of it.
press conference.
Yeah, maybe 10 minutes.
So I don't even need to go that far. This is all I need to say. There's two ways you can look at it. Either Howie Roseman and Doug Peterson, they came to Jeffrey Lurie and they told him, this is our plan going forward. What they told him in the press conference, which is basically, yeah, we don't plan on changing anything. Everything sucked because of Carson, was basically what they said in the press conference. And then Jeffrey Lurie was like, you know what? That's a good plan. Run it back next year. Or they didn't tell him that. He never met with them to find out what their plans were, and he brought them back anyway. And I don't know which is worse. Because either way, he doesn't fucking give a shit. I guess the first option is probably worse, because at that point, that means he actively fucking dislikes having the Eagles as his fucking product. I guess maybe the other way, if he's just oblivious to it, he's just like, I don't care as long as I'm making my money either way.
Can we talk about one of the lines that Roseman had in one of the press conferences where he pretty much, and I blogged this one, he pretty much compared trading Carson Wentz to cutting his fingers off? I mean, you can't even make up the shit that's happening. Like that was a travesty, that whole press conference. I only watched maybe 10 minutes of it, but I couldn't believe the words that were coming out of his mouth. You would have thought maybe a fourth grader was up there.
I got so mad, I just turned it off. I was just like, it got to the point I was like, I can't. You're saying the same shit you did last week. You're not saying anything different. Why are we even having a press conference?
And Zach Ertz cried. Did you see that one?
I mean, I'm not going to be mad at Zach Ertz for being emotional.
He cried. It might be his last game.
I don't know if you're saying that's a bad thing or if you're like I feel bad for Zach Ertz.
That's what I'm saying. The Philadelphia Eagles are so dysfunctional that they've made Zach Ertz cry.
They've made me cry. Welcome to the fucking club, buddy. I was like,
oh, that's good. That's a good one.
Also, too, by the way, one of those fucking idiots on ESPN, Greeny or Golick, one of those two fucking clowns. They said that basically they said something about Carson Wentz being paid $100 and he should be out there with his team and blah, blah, blah.
I think Anthony actually mentioned this on my podcast that came out today. But
how fucking clueless can you be? He was a healthy scratch. The coaching staff deactivated him.
It's such a joke.
And he was on the sideline. What did you want him to do? Run out there without the pads on? Be like, oh, Jalen, take a seat. I got this, buddy.
Such a joke. I'm telling you, on That's Some Cheese, when the Eagles come back next year, I'm going to play a game on how did Carson Wentz lose this week for the Philadelphia Eagles, whether he's on the roster or not. That's the new game.
People are blaming Wentz for this whole Sudfeld tanking thing.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't even fucking play. How is it his fault?
That's the game. That will be the game when the Eagles come back, whether he's on the roster or not. How did Carson Wentz lose the game for the Philadelphia Eagles this week? That's the game.
It's so
Every
ridiculous.
week.
You can't even call them an organization because there's zero fucking organization about this whole situation. They are not organized. They are the antithesis of organized. They are not an organization. Whatever the opposite of organized is, that's what they are.
That's the line of the year.
Dysfunction.
We could cut it off right now. That's the line of the year.
I just can't do it anymore. I hate football. I hate football. I don't even want to fucking watch football next year. You can just fire me now, Trey, because outside of Woman Crush Wednesday, I don't even know what the fuck else I can do.
Did you get it all out? I'm glad.
You're the one. You wanted to talk about this. I said we didn't have to.
All right, let's go over the playoff games. Chad Bauman here, of course. Myself, Trey, Daubert. Check out the site, vendettasportsmedia.com. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Jackson is back from vacation, so videos will be going up. All right, let's dive into the playoffs here. Colts, Bills. Chad, your takeaways.
Oh, Colts definitely gonna. I almost said the wrong thing. Colts are definitely gonna lose that game.
Great, got it.
I think
agree.
Buffalo's defense is just fucking curb stomping people right now.
That's the thing about Buffalo. Josh Allen's having a hell of a year. Their roster's unbelievable. They got dudes in that defense.
And here's the thing, just because Indy's offensive line is so good, I really don't think Buffalo's gonna really get to Rivers that much. But
I think their secondary is their strength.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. They're so good everywhere, it doesn't matter.
Even Josh Norman's playing well.
Rivers might have fucking 3 picks and no sacks. That's how good Buffalo's defense is, and how good Indy's offensive line is, and how bad not necessarily bad, how inconsistent Rivers has been this year.
Yeah, I think for the Colts to have any chance, their weapons, T.Y. Hilton, Michael Pittman, their tight ends have to really show up, and I don't see how that's going to happen.
Well, I mean, the focal point of their team is their running game anyway.
Right.
I don't see the running game getting going.
But either way, they're going to have to pass the ball at some point. And those guys like T.Y. Hilton are going to have to beat Tre'Davious White. And I don't see how that's happening.
It won't.
I think Buffalo wins in a rout. Good for Bills Mafia. Give them the COVID vaccine. Let's get their fans back in the stadium.
Isn't this like their first playoff game since like the 90s or something like that?
No, Tyrod Taylor got him in one year, or Josh Allen just got him in last year. Maybe their first home playoff game in a while.
No, I might have been thinking about like last year. It was like their first trip to the playoffs, like in a while.
I know Tyrod.
And I know the Browns have been. I know the Browns haven't been since like 2002, but I thought there was something similar with the Bills.
Side note: I am in Jamie's craft room, so deal with it. Anybody that's watching this. All right.
Oh, yeah, I can see the zebras.
All right. Rams, Seahawks. Each team 1-1 on the year. Don't know if Jared Goff's playing yet, so that probably means a lot. Chad, what do you have here?
I went with Seattle as my my Super Bowl prediction. I think in like week 15, I think I said that. I'm sticking with it. I think the Rams have a clearly better defense, but Russell Wilson's just that fucking guy. He's that dude. Aaron Donald, I don't see him playing much of a factor just because I don't see Russell Wilson spending a whole lot of time in the pocket.
Yeah, I think Seattle's going to end up pulling it out somehow, whether it be down late and Wilson carries them to a win or whatever, but I think the underrated story here is that Seahawks defense has been significantly better since they traded for Carlos Dunlap. They didn't have a pass rush for the first 8 weeks of the year, and they were just bleeding on that side of the ball. Since they brought in Carlos Dunlap, and I don't love the guy, but Jamal Adams can at least rush the passer, they've been better. Shaq Griffin's been healthy of late too, so I think their defense is a lot better than what it was in the beginning of the year.
Not to mention, in week 8, they had a nice tune-up game against the Eagles, so. pretty good since then.
Does it matter if Goff plays or not? Like,
I mean, he's clearly the better quarterback with what they have.
Right.
I mean, as far as win-loss is concerned, no, it doesn't make a difference. They maybe score an extra touchdown.
Okay.
If Goff plays.
Bucks, Washington football team. Now, Anthony on That Some Cheese has his bold prediction of Washington's going to win this week.
I actually agree.
Wow. Okay.
Like, Tom Brady got his ass kicked by the Giants. And
well, he still won the game, but yes, sort of.
They won, but they won by like a field goal, like a last-second field goal. Washington, as bad as their offense is, because remember, they couldn't do anything against the Eagles. Their defense, they're going to get to Tom Brady. And if you look at all the games Tom Brady struggled in this year, it was against teams that had good pass rush. Washington, as bad as they are, they have one of the best pass rushes in the league.
100%.
Fucking Chase Young was going stride for stride with Jalen Hurts last night. Or on Sunday night.
He's probably more athletic than Jalen Hurts.
Might be faster than him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know what their 40 times were, but there was one. He literally chased
I don't think Chase
Young.
Chase Young didn't run, but yeah, I think he might be faster.
So if he's chasing down Jalen Hurts, he's definitely going to get to fucking Tom Brady.
But it's not just him either. They got Montez Sweat, who was a first-round pick. They got Ryan Kerrigan, who's Ryan Kerrigan's a multi-year Pro Bowler. He's a rotation guy now. Nobody really has him as their backup. Deron Payne's really good. Jonathan Allen's really good. They have a good front.
That's what I'm saying. It's Tom Brady. He's fucking 43. He's not getting away from those guys. He wasn't first of all, Tom Brady wasn't athletic when he was in his prime. He's not getting away from them now.
It's weirdly a bad spot for the Bucks. Like it's almost like you want to play a bad team, but it's the bad team you don't want to see.
They match up very poorly against this Washington defense. And I mean, these last few games, Tom Brady has been relatively clean in the pocket.
He's been beaten up in Atlanta. Who else did they play? The Falcons.
What I would say is these last few games, where Tom Brady, the last few games went on like a little bit of a tear.
Yeah.
Right.
Beating up Carolina, beating up Atlanta, beat up Detroit.
None of those teams have a pass rush.
Right.
That's why he stayed clean. It's not going to happen against Washington. Now, my only concern is if Washington's offense can score.
Yeah.
I don't know. They could only manage, and to be honest with you, three of the points came after fucking Sudfeld winning the game, so you can't really count them. But they only managed 20 points against the Eagles, who aren't very good.
Plus, there's a report that's saying they don't know if Alex Smith is going to be healthy, and they might have to rotate Taylor Heineke into the game. Not great.
So, I don't know.
And Tampa's defense is actually good. Tampa's defense is a lot better than it was a year ago. Their young guys have gotten better, like Devin White and Carlton Davis, and Antoine Winfield's made a big difference. Some of their young guys are really good.
I mean, I could see the Bucks pulling it out, but I could see this game going either way. It's hard for me to say one way or the other, but I don't think Anthony's wrong. I mean, if I was a betting man and you got a good enough line on this,
well, I'll tell you what the line is.
I would take Washington.
It's Washington plus 8.5.
So that means they're favored, or
they're underdogs. Washington or Tampa Bay would have to win by 9.
See, I would take that bet because even though I'm not sure who's going to win it, I don't see Washington just getting totally beat up by this Tampa team.
I think I agree with you the more I think about it, but it almost feels too easy. So I don't know. All right, Ravens, Titans. Titans beat them in the playoffs last year. Titans beat them in the regular season this year. Third time's the charm, Chad?
Yeah, I'm going to go Titans. I think, we talked about this before. The Titans defense isn't great.
They have no pass rush
as like players are concerned, but I feel like Mike, what'd you say?
Tennessee has no pass rush. None. Since Clowney's gone down for the year, they can't rush the passer.
But I think Mike Vrabel defensively, he's going to put together a good game plan. And to be 100% honest, it's not like you really need to rush. What's his name? Lamar Jackson. You just need to make sure he can't run on you.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job of that last year. Especially some of the zone concepts in the past, Lamar has just refused to figure out. So I don't know. I'm a little bit too emotional. I'm rooting for my team to lose, of course, just so that it could be 3 straight first round and dones. That would be great. That would be great for Team Trey.
These teams are basically the same. Like they're run first teams.
There's one big difference though. Last year in the game, Mark Ingram was not healthy. This year, I think J.K. Dobbins is maybe the best. I think he's been the best rookie running back all year. He led the league, like of all players, in yards per carry this year. Over 6 yards a carry. He's really good.
I'm still going to go Titans. I
hope you're right. Fuck my team.
I think Derrick Henry is going to have like 50 fucking carries.
How about that story? That went under the radar. He rushed for 2,000 yards and nobody cares. Nobody talked about it.
Isn't he the only 2,000-yard rusher this year?
Yeah, but nobody cares.
Else, right?
Nobody talked about it. How did that go under the radar?
He was pretty tied up with your boy Dalvin Cook for a while.
I know.
Cook actually, I think until like week 13, had more yards than him.
Cook didn't play this week because his dad died. But yeah, then Derrick Henry went off against the Texans and rushed for 2,000 yards. This man had 378 carries this year.
I will say this. The only chance that the Ravens have is they have to shut the run down. Do exactly what Kansas City did last year. Force the ball into Tannehill's hands.
Bears Saints. What do you have here? Because weirdly enough, this was when Chicago was sort of struggling. But the game went to overtime the last time these teams played, and the Saints pulled out a 26-23 win. And that was with that. Let me go back and double check, but I believe it was a Foles game. I want to double check just to make sure.
It was. Trubisky got
it
in
was
for
a Foles
like one
game.
play. Yeah, it was.
So
Trubisky had like one play. It was like a Wildcat play in the first quarter.
Any chance Chicago wins the rematch? If there's anything that it's weird and goofy that we don't expect to happen, why not Chicago?
Honestly, is Alvin Kamara going to play? Because he had.
They don't know. They don't know because of COVID.
It's hard for me to say because, like, I feel like even if Kamara does play, I don't think this game is going to be a runaway for the Saints. I think this is going to be kind of like a nitty-gritty, just...
It's a bad matchup for the Saints because the defense like Chicago, you can't just dink and dunk them the whole game.
Right. But I don't fucking trust Mitch Trubisky.
Who does? I don't trust Breeze. What has Breeze done to make us trust him?
Play worse than Taysom Hill?
Okay, yeah. he legitimately has, though. I'm not sure they're better with Breeze.
By the way, I would just like to point out the only reason why the Eagles won against the Saints is because Taysom Hill sucks.
And it was Hurts' first start, and nobody knew what was coming.
Nah, I won't even go that far. Taysom Hill just sucks.
I think Chicago could win. I'll still pick New Orleans, but the line on this game is New Orleans would have to win by 11 to cover. That's a lot of points.
I mean, maybe we might have. It's hard. It honestly, without Alvin, the uncertainty with Alvin Kamara, I can't say the Saints will win because
I'm with you.
Like, who else are they going to give the fucking ball to?
Latavius Murray. I don't know.
I would go. I'm going to go Chicago.
Oh,
but that's pretty much just because of I don't know what's going on with Alvin Kamara.
If Kamara plays,
and
does it change your pick?
I mean, it changes how I feel about the game, but not by a whole lot. Like I would say even if Kamara does play, they still have a solid shot to win, just because the Bears' defense is so good.
All right, last game. Cleveland, Pittsburgh. It's been reported already. COVID. They won't have Joel Bitonio, and they won't have their head coach, Kevin Stefanski. I was leaning towards Pittsburgh anyway, but not having your head coach who's really helped Baker this year, I don't see how they're beating Pittsburgh.
Can I say something that I just don't think makes sense?
Let's hear it.
Like, I get why if a player gets COVID, obviously they can't fucking go to work. They have to be there. As much fucking technology that we have nowadays, we can't, like, if a coach gets fucking COVID, give him a fucking walkie-talkie and just be like, hey.
Well, he's supposed to be doing the game virtually, but he's not calling plays anymore.
Okay, well, I mean, that's what I was saying. I didn't realize they were like, no.
Yeah, apparently he'll be there, but he's not calling the plays because he's called the plays the whole year.
I still don't see why he can't call plays. Just like be virtual. Just don't show up. Go to like some fucking league specified fucking quarantine room and just have him do it from there.
Not sure.
I mean, I'm going to go Pittsburgh just because Cleveland got curb stomped when they were 100% and they played them the first time.
They almost lost to the Mason Rudolph version this week.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I think Pittsburgh is going to win too.
I don't see that one being close.
Weirdly, I don't trust Cleveland's secondary. It feels like they have holes back there. Myles Garrett's really good, and Olivier Vernon just got hurt for the year, so they're not going to have him either. Outside of Denzel Ward, I don't really trust any of their corners or safeties, really.
Yeah, I agree with that. Denzel Ward's kind of like the only showing down there.
But with Pittsburgh, you got to have guys that can match up with Claypool and Deontay Johnson and Juju, as big of a clown as he is. But Pittsburgh has the weapons.
Deontay Johnson, if he plays. You know,
right. Hey, he was good week 16 for fantasy. He's forever in good graces until next year.
So, yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't think this is going to be close. The only shot Cleveland has is just
this is actually one of the lower spreads, too.
I don't think it's going to be close because I think Cleveland's going to try to get fancy. And I think the only shot that they're going to have is if they pound the rock with Nick Chubb.
Cleveland's a 5-point dog.
I think Baker Mayfield's going to have a lot of turnovers.
The Pittsburgh defense isn't what it was in the beginning of the year because they lost Dupree and they lost Devin Bush, but it's still a hell of a defense.
All they need is Minkah Fitzpatrick. That's it.
And TJ Watt.
That too.
All right. I think that's going to pretty much do it for the lead word this week. We'll be going over every single playoff preview, I guess, for each episode that comes out for the postseason at least. I don't know what we'll be doing for the off season. That kind of just changes every single year, but obviously we'll cover the draft and stuff like that. Chad, any other announcements?
Yeah. I'm gonna fucking kill myself when the Eagles take a 3rd round guy in the 6th overall pick.
Sage Surratt, jot it down. Wake Forest receiver. Didn't play this year. Opt out. He's gonna run like a 4.8.
You know what the thing is I can almost I feel like I know exactly what they're gonna do. They're gonna trade the 6th pick. Right? Probably
so you're gonna get a glimmer of hope.
Yeah. And then they're gonna trade back to like fucking, I don't know, like 20 or something. Maybe like
trading down wouldn't be bad.
They're gonna trade down. They're gonna go back between like 15 and 20. And then they're gonna like just take some fucking nobody. I guarantee it.
Trading down wouldn't be a bad idea though. You guys need picks.
Yeah, but they're gonna fucking blow the pick, so it doesn't matter. I honestly, and then I tweeted this after the fucking game. It doesn't matter if the Eagles win or lose. It doesn't matter if they have 6 or 9. Whatever the worst fucking thing they can do with that pick is, they're going to do it.
Yep.
The only chance we had was if Howie got fired. He didn't.
Well, Elton Brand got demoted, and look at how the Sixers are doing. They look better.
Howie hasn't even been demoted. They brought him back. Just same old.
Well,
terrible.
Rip 2020 Eagles season.
It's going to be fucking awful. The good news is I can actually play with the Eagles in franchise mode. Because, like, normally their Madden ratings are too good. Finally, they're going to suck. And I can actually use them. That's
a spin zone right there.
They should be the worst fucking rated Madden team now.
Probably.
Because even if they like you evaluate their players as like decent,
no.
Every player should automatically lose like minus 40 to their awareness because of Doug Peterson being the coach.
All right, Chad. Good episode.
Yeah, well, if you haven't already, give us money on Patreon. Maybe
nobody has given us money on Patreon.
Yeah, you fucking assholes.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You don't want to fight me? Go subscribe to the $70 tier. Give us money on Patreon. If you're watching this on YouTube, like the video, subscribe to the channel, love the channel. That way you can see all of Scott's new videos.
Scott?
Yeah, no, my bad, not Scott, Jackson. See, the Eagles have got me all turned inside out. I don't know what I'm saying.
It's okay. My brain's a mess too.
But anyway, you don't want to miss any of Jackson's new videos. Other than that, follow the site on Twitter, Vendetta_media. Check Trey out on Twitter, at Trey Daubert. Check me out at Lowfooted. Like us on Facebook. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.